What if the secret to beating giant corporations isn't fancy technology or massive funding, but something as simple as a glass of lemonade? Today's story completely challenges everything we assume about business competition.
That's really intriguing. What kind of story are we exploring here?
Picture this. A young entrepreneur named Lila starts a lemonade stand, but then faces what seems like impossible competition when a major grocery chain opens at the end of her street.
That's such a perfect microcosm of what's happening in retail everywhere. Small businesses versus big box stores.
Exactly. And what makes this fascinating is how she turned what seemed like disadvantages into her secret weapons. Instead of trying to compete on price or scale, she developed this brilliant four-part strategy that transformed her business.
Well, now I'm really curious about these strategies. What did she implement?
Her first move was all about personal connection, something that research shows can increase customer retention by up to 25%. She started remembering not just names, but specific details about every customer's preferences.
That's actually brilliant because it taps into something psychology tells us about human behavior. We're willing to pay up to 16% more for products when we feel personally connected to the brand.
And here's what's fascinating. She didn't stop there. She introduced product innovation that would make some Silicon Valley startups jealous. She created these artisanal flavor combinations that turned her stand into a local sensation.
So she essentially created what we'd now call a premium product differentiation strategy. That's remarkably sophisticated.
Then comes her third strategy, a loyalty program. Studies show that loyalty programs can increase revenue by 15 to 25%. But what's really interesting is how she simplified it down to its essence.
Let me guess. She made it super straightforward, unlike those complicated point systems that big retailers use.
Exactly. Just a simple punch card. Buy five, get one free. But here's the psychological genius. It gave people a clear goal to work toward, which research shows increases customer engagement by up to 30%.
That's fascinating because it plays into what behavioral economists call the goal gradient effect. People accelerate their purchasing as they get closer to a reward.
But her fourth strategy? That's what I consider her masterstroke. She shared her personal goal of saving for a bike, which transformed every transaction into a meaningful interaction.
You know what's interesting about that? It aligns perfectly with recent marketing studies showing that 64% of consumers make purchasing decisions based on a brand's social values or mission.
And the results were remarkable. While most small businesses face a 50% failure rate in their first year, Lila's stand actually thrived in direct competition with a major retailer.
That really challenges conventional wisdom about economies of scale, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And here's what's really powerful. She created what we now call a community brand, something that 89% of consumers say they're more likely to be loyal to.
Looking at the bigger picture, what would you say are the key lessons any business could take from this?
First, personal connection isn't just nice to have, it's a competitive advantage. Studies show that personalized customer experiences can lift revenues by 5 to 15%. Second, innovation doesn't require big budgets, just creative thinking. And third, having a compelling story that people can connect with increases brand value by up to 20%.
Those insights could be game changing for any business owner, regardless of their size.
And here's one final thought. In an age where automation is expected to replace up to 47% of jobs, Lila's story shows that human connection might be the most valuable business asset of all.
That's such a powerful way to wrap up this story. It really makes you think about what truly matters in business.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Remember, sometimes the biggest business lessons come in the smallest packages.
And next time you pass a lemonade stand, you might want to stop and take notes. You never know what you might learn.